All right. Welcome back to the Cantina Collector Spotlight. We've had these going for a little while. It's been a while, though, since we've done one. And you may notice that Steve's not here. He's usually the moderator. He's the one with all the fun antics and keeps the discussion going. He's actually on a different podcast right now as we speak. He's hanging out with the guys with Rule the Galaxy. If you haven't checked those guys out, they're awesome. They do a lot of the same stuff we do, kind of a Zoom format when they record, but they also record it as a podcast. Super cool guys. I know a few of them are part of the Cantina. They've joined and got some collectibles from us. So you get a chance to check them out. But Steve's with them live, and I'm sure the podcast recording will drop a little bit later. Excuse me. But we've got some fun ahead of us. We've got the legendary Cantina Admin Jay Capshaw tonight is in the hot seat. So we're excited about kind of finding out his journey to collecting. I will remind you tonight's a little different with our collector spotlight. The only people in the Zoom room are myself and Jay. Everybody else, you'll be hanging out in Facebook Live, showing, throwing your comments and questions up, kind of guiding our discussion. We've got some things we want to talk about, but we want to hear from you too. So hopefully you'll help us out with that. So without any further ado, Jay, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm fantastic tonight. How's it going with you, Lucas?
Oh, well, doing well. I'm going to glance over here at our feed. We got David, we got Ricardo, Monty, Bill, Thor, all those guys are hanging out with us. So you guys be thinking about some great questions for Jay. And then, we've got to say it. And I know we just talked about it, but not everybody was in the room. No spoilers tonight. I know the internet is pretty much probably blown it for everybody. But we're not going to talk Book of Boba Fett tonight. We're going to save that for next week on Thursday Night Live when we do episode 6 and 7. So if you wanted to talk that, you're in the wrong place tonight, even though it was an epic episode. So, all right. Well, let's get down to it, brother. You tell us a little bit about your journey with toys, and we'll just kind of dive in at some different points. Because everybody that's spent time in the Cantina knows that you've got a pretty eclectic collection. All right. When we have our Cantina sales, you bring up some really cool stuff I've never heard of a lot of times.
Yeah.
I'm getting educated. So how did you get from, little boy Jay that lived in Oklahoma to this dude that's collecting all this different stuff out there? So,
well, I remember, I always liked old science fiction shows and stuff like that. And we were always watching it. And, I was born in 1970, so I was around for a little bit before Star Wars came out. And I remember it was a big deal. Like, we heard about it, and I even had, a stormtrooper. I don't even remember how I got it, but I had a stormtrooper, and I carried that thing around with me everywhere. And I'm all like, does it say oil on the back? What is this? I didn't know much about it because I hadn't seen the movie yet. And then we finally went to, a drive-in theater in McAlester, Oklahoma, and we saw the, Star Wars, A New Hope, and it was mind-blowing because, you watch science fiction on television and, what it is, special effects back then, War of the Worlds and stuff like that is so, it was less than what George Lucas came up with, to be sure. Like, when we left there, I remember asking my dad, I'm like, are Wookiees real? Because it just, everything looked real,
You bought in
like real life.
Yeah.
I just didn't understand how they did it at the time. And that was it for me. I was hooked. It was everything I could do to get Star Wars toys. And, I was reading the comics. I remember I got the comics. I got a subscription in the mail. And they mailed them with just a piece of brown, almost like a paper bag from a grocery store, wrapped around it to my house every month. That was amazing. Because, back then there's no internet. There's no watching it again. There's no seeing scenes of it on YouTube. You get to watch it in the movie theater. And then all that's left is how you remember it, how you saw it. And all of a sudden there's 12 figures, and then some more come out, and there's mailaways, and they kept you like it hooks into you when you're a little kid. I was 7 when I first saw it, I think. And it had me ever since then.
Yeah.
Hook, line, and sinker. Pretty much just Star Wars and G.I. Joe back then, though, when I was little. was really my thing.
So when you're a little 7 or 8, so we were to go to little 7 or 8-year-old Jay's toy box. We're gonna have a heavy populated GI Joe presence and some Star Wars hanging around, huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
Star Wars, GI Joe, and comic books.
Okay. Yeah. So I guess the question kind of comes out of what you said. Do you still have that stormtrooper, that first stormtrooper?
That's the only thing in my collection that I still have is that first.
Really? But you still
Yeah.
got it, that first one. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
So what happened to all the others? You said that's the only one.
So, I left Oklahoma when I was probably, yeah. So I moved away from home when I was 16, and I didn't take any of that stuff with me,
Okay.
and I didn't return home for nearly a decade. So it was all gone. It was played with by my younger brother. I got a brother that's 10 years younger than me and a sister that's 12 years younger than me. So it just all became theirs.
Yeah.
For the most part. And the last time I went home, there was a bunch of stuff in the bottom of my little brother's closet. And it was all trashed and
Yeah.
busted up and, treated like a toy. They
Yeah.
they,
That's
they
what they're
went they
for.
lived
Yeah.
the life of a toy.
Yeah.
But I did I did get that stormtrooper. And that was and probably because I carried around, probably because it was the first, I don't even know why I took it then, because I wasn't a collector until I got probably back into I don't know, I was in my 30s
Okay.
when I actually started collecting toys again. And um, the weird thing is, it was to start collecting again was brought about by my girlfriend then, my current wife, and we were at a flea market in Lancaster, Massachusetts, and the story's even weirder because it was Silent Bob that was set up there, and I had never met the guy.
Oh, so this is where
And
you and Silent Bob first meet.
it's where we first met, but we didn't really. It was a few more years before we really got to know each other.
Okay.
But he was set up there. This was an indoor flea market that had gone out of business a couple of years after this. And I was just like, oh my God, look at all these cool Star Wars toys, And it's like taking me back. And there's an
Fell in
AT-AT
love
there.
again.
And
Yeah.
yeah, Silent Bob, of course, had like 4 AT-ATs for sale. And I had never had one. And he had an X-Wing. And I was like, man, I love the X-Wing. And Sarah was like, why don't you buy that? I'm like, buy it? Buy a toy? I'm like, I don't know. What am I gonna do with it? She's like, look at it, play with it, do whatever you want with it. She's like, if
What
you like it,
was it?
buy
Was it
it.
in those moments you were like, "You're the one. You're the one for me."
I knew before that, but every ounce of doubt departed
It's gone. Yeah.
after that.
Let's
Yeah.
buy that at. Oh.
Yep. I was
Let's book the
that,
wedding chapel right now.
who knows? Could be why she turned from girlfriend to wife.
But
I don't know.
I'm saying it was a factor. I don't even know your whole story.
It was an
But I believe
X-wing
that's a
fighter.
fact. Yes.
X-wing fighter did it. I still have that right over on the shelf as well. And not only that, she bought it.
Oh.
I was on the fence. I was mulling it over. She bought it for me. And if she could turn around now and turn that clock back, I don't know if she buys that X-wing fighter.
That's what I was thinking, dude. Because I know just a little bit about your collection. If it started with her purchase of that X-wing, oh, I'm sure there's days you're like, oh,
Yeah.
don't mind all these boxes. It all goes back to that X-wing.
She's super supportive, but every now and then I get that text, can you get some of these toys out of the dining room? There's four. Super supportive though.
Yes. Hey, she started it, man. She started it.
Yeah. I'll forever have that. She did start it
Oh, wow. That's
with her
awesome.
love and support of me.
Yeah.
So
And I think that's a lot of our stories is obviously we had those things as a kids, we hit our teens, transitions of life, we kind of leave them behind. And,
Yep.
whether our siblings get them or mom's cleaning out and sells them off or sends them to Goodwill. And then our job is almost like that quest to replace all the things we had or to complete the missing pieces once we have the resources as an adult. So
Yeah, for me, it was to get something that, that was something that was elusive to me as a child. We weren't well off,
Right.
so I would have to save up for a long time just to get one figure back when they're $1.33.
Hmm.
But and you become older, and it's easier to. I hate to say it's easier for me to afford them now, um,
Yeah.
but
The
it's
way things
probably
are.
not now. It's just
Yeah.
I had them all before all of this went insane, because a few years later, I run into Rob again at a flea market closer to my house, and he's set up there, and I was like, "Man, I remember you, this and that." He's like, I was like, "It's awesome to see you," because he had a big, like blue tarp laid out on the ground, and just hordes of Star Wars vehicles. That day, I bought a B-wing fighter.
Oh
I
man.
bought like a droid tank,
I don't even
because
want
I
to
love the
know.
droid tank.
I don't
That's
even
a
want to
great
know what you
vehicle.
paid for him back then, dude.
It was oh man, the B-wing fighter. It was $15.
Oh, okay.
The droid tank was like $5.
Oh man.
Um, what else did I get that day? I got do you the Have you seen the Rancor with the little Felucian guy
Yeah, yeah.
that's on top of it? That guy with the unbroken saddle. And Rob's like, "Yeah, I got to get like $20 for that." And
Gosh, how much is that thing worth? Now people are, putting Boba Fett on that thing.
I don't even know. It maybe. Boba Fett's gonna ride that.
No, he's not. We're not getting into that right now, Jay.
All right, all right. We'll
There's
we'll move
something. The
on from
Huts
there.
and the Pikes are working together. I know it. So I
And then
swear
he
upon that
had,
Gamorrean head back there that's not happening. So
yeah, and he had white boxes that were made for like uh, like
like the comic.
cards,
Okay.
cards,
Yeah.
and in them were, inside these little plastic containers were just action figure after action figure after action figure. In
Wow.
fact, I'm going to tell you guys something. Rob had an entire collection. It was missing a couple of figures. It didn't have a yak face. It didn't have a blue snag, and it didn't have a 99.
Okay.
It had most of the final 17 and all of the ones prior to that, from the very beginning to the very end of the line. You want to take a stab at what I felt was just a crazy, crazy price to pay for it at the time, but what I paid for that? It
Oh.
was like 94 out of all it was like 93 or 94 of the whole 96 figure collection.
Oh man, I don't even want to try.
$450.
Oh my stuff. Gosh.
Rob, I don't know if you're listening. Um, Thanks.
So you got it. That's what you
I still have
kickstarted your
them. They're
collection.
they're in a wooden case that I had an old man down the street make for me,
Wow.
up on my second floor. Yeah, every single one of them that I got from Rob that day.
Yeah,
Um,
because different times you've done videos in the group, and I remember seeing that case. So that's those figures that you
yep,
bought that day.
yep.
Wow, that's so cool.
It's got a bunch added into it. It
Sure.
does. I did finally get the yak and a trade, um, from a guy from England, actually,
Yeah.
and that was wicked cool. And I got a really, really rare Luke Skywalker too.
I'm gonna look over at our feed. I think we got some questions popping. Oh, there we go. Rob's over there. He says that was the friend price.
Rob also loves it when I mention what I got. I got a golden head, uh, steel reserve
Okay.
GI
Oh,
Joe
okay.
figure from him.
Oh, okay.
The Goldie, yeah. For what I thought at the time, I was just like, "Man, it's so expensive," but I really wanted one. It was $75 I got it for,
Oh,
and now I
Monty's
think,
asking. He's
what's that?
Monty says over here, he's like, what is your ultimate grail piece you don't have yet? What does some people call the white whale that you're out there searching for?
I mean, for me, the answer to that question is fluid all the
Okay.
time, depending on what I'm looking for. It's been a lot of different things, but I think what it probably is right now, and I know people are going to be like, "That's just weird," but it is a whack foo figure
Oh yeah, you're all
that
in
you
on
can
the wax
almost
suit.
never find.
Yeah.
And the thing is these figures for Wakfu, they build there's like a build a figure, and this is one that's part of the build a figure. It's one of the 5 figure lines, and it's the guy's name is Sir Percival, uh, Sir Percival of Sandy Grove.
Oh wow.
But he comes with a piece of the figure, and there is a figure of him that's a different line that they only made one figure of. And when you publish that second part of the
Yeah, it'll
thing
be
I wrote
dropping
up for
next
our
week.
newsletter,
Yeah.
yeah, it'll
Yeah.
be in there. But the one that went with the build a figure line, I've never even seen listed anywhere. I've only seen it in a picture on the back of the other figures. So everything I'm ever on, I ask for that, and I always get like someone's always like, "What is a Wakfu?"
Yeah.
You know,
Well, I think
no,
that's
no,
probably most of our group, but your article you wrote for last edition and the rest that's coming out this next week in our newsletter, it's helped me a lot kind of understand where this is even coming from. But yeah, that's cool. So
it's a
that's what
fun
you're looking
line.
for right now, huh?
It's a fun line, but for a while it was the classics. It was a yak face.
Yeah.
It was extremely hard for me to find a yak face. For a little while, it took me a few years to find a decent price Chronicle of Riddick's figure that I was looking for. The one where he comes with like the Hellhound from the
Okay.
second movie. There's like it's a figure of him and then the Hound. I mean, they were around, but just stupid money. People were asking for it. But I really wanted to complete that. To me, I like getting these weird, different lines that are smaller.
Yeah.
And trying to complete them, and it's just fun for me to look for like strange stuff like that.
But and I know the story, and I've shared it before in the cantina. You're a pivotal player in me getting one of my grails.
Because
As I was trying to finish up, the vintage run, and I had that one piece missing, the pop-up R2, and you're like, man, I think I got you taken care of, and gave me a great deal on it and everything, and it's still sitting back there, and need to have like a spotlight on it because it's a graded piece and everything. But I always remember you had a hand to help me finish that run, kind of accomplish that piece. So
yeah, I know the sweetness of that. You know what I mean? So, and I had the ability to help you out, and you were doing things at the time that appealed to me, as well. So,
yeah, those are the early days, man. We're having ripping and roaring, doing
yeah.
stuff. It's amazing to see though, because that was pre-cantina stuff, I think, or maybe it was right at the beginning. Just kind of how it's kind of grown from there. Just kind of the neat things that have happened. And I know you and Jim and really the whole community has been a part of that. So it's been neat. Let's see, we got some other questions over here. Sean's over here. I love the obscure with Jay. Even today, because Johnny was posting in the group about the spot. Hey, we're gonna do a claim sale. Anybody? What do you want? Jay's like, the odder the better. So, your typical response, a crazy off the wall stuff.
Yep. Some snailians or something. I got a few snailians one time, and those. I mean, the concept is hilarious to me. They're snails from outer space, and they're all armored up and jacked up with gear and weapons and stuff, and they're just really cool. They're fun. So you want to get all the snailians. There's so many things. I think what kicked off the strangeness for me, though, that really got me like fired off into it was sectars.
Okay.
You ever see those? They're like
Well,
half human, half insects.
that's what I was fixing to say. Something half insect. Yeah, I think I remember them briefly. So did you get the whole line of those, or?
Oh yeah, the warriors of
Oh
Symbiote.
yeah.
It took a long time. And honestly, that same flea market from another guy there named Bill who sells a lot. He's actually in the cantina as well.
Okay.
He pops in it here and there. He's not he's not around a lot, but every now and then he throws something in there that he found or something cool like that. But he had a bunch of sectars once in the box, and they looked great. So I grabbed those, and then of course, you got to get them all. So
that's what, like the mid 80s, the sectars, is that about right?
yeah,
I'm trying to
yep.
find an image real quick online just to kind of to show folks.
Coleco 1985, I believe, is when they They're
Okay.
made by Coleco and started around 1985 or 86 or something like that.
Yeah, let's see. I think I got one here that we can take a peek at real quick. Now, if I can get technology to work for me, that's even the better part.
Yeah, there was one really cool one, the Night Fighter, Prince something, the Night Fighter, and his antennas and weapons and stuff glow in the dark.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, let's see. Sorry for the delay here. I just want because I want to kind of see it myself.
They're very cool. There's even like a 6 episode cartoon series that I got. Someone had put them on a disc and was selling them on eBay, and I picked it up. But you can find them on YouTube. The whole cartoon run is on YouTube.
Yeah, it's not one to pull it over. Well, as we think about, the different stuff you collect, and just as we talked about a little earlier, being over in Monty's sale, buying comics and stuff. So, so we know you've got a pretty good comic collection too. And Ricardo asked over on the Facebook side, he's like, well, I lost the question here. What is your favorite comic series? Because I mean,
The original Marvel Star Wars run, hands down.
Okay, so that's the top for you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So have you got most of those?
I have every single one of them twice, and
I'm
most
not
of them 3 times. Because originally I was planning to have the whole run graded as well.
Oh, okay.
So I have 2 copies of every episode, and then a third of many of them. And every now and then I'll take a few of the third ones and post them up in a group. I like to put comics in every now and then to kind of spice it up too when we're doing our sales and stuff.
Oh yeah, I like that. That's one of my favorite things when you're what you're always selling. I know when we send that message out, who wants to sell? Jay's like, I'm always in.
Always in. I can always dig up 5 or 6 things to put up, and
yeah. And you always bring something to the party that educates too. That's why I love it. So
yeah, it's just fun for me too. It's just a good time. I like to be a part of it. But interesting. Unlike toys with me, comic books never left. Even I never stopped collecting comic books. So
okay.
I have like long box and long box and long box of comic books. I was a comic book collector the entirety of my life. I have almost all the ASMs because I bought those as little kids. I mean, and they're ratty and read up because you don't know that ASM 1 through 100 is going to be, you know what I mean? You're just a little kid.
You're like, oh, it's just reading it.
And you're like, oh, I wanted to read the first ones, so you're buying them for 50 cents back in the day or whatever because they're just laying around comic book shops. They're not. So you end up getting them all and reading them and throwing them in corners. And
let's see. Oh, Monty says Jay is Mr. Fraggle Rock. If you ever find any, you always want to check with Jay first if you're looking for one.
It's funny. Yeah. I do like Fraggle Rock and Scooby Doo.
I was going to say, I know Scooby Doo's. Yeah. So,
and I love the comics, and there's very few Fraggle Rock comics, and I'm pretty sure I actually have them all. But Monty knows that, and he owns a comic book store. Monty knows that because every time he does a sale, I'm like, "You got any Fraggle Rock? Got any Scooby Doo?" So that dude, I'm training him to think of me when he gets some Fraggle Rock and Scooby Doo. Like I got a message from his wife, like a direct message. She's like, "Hey, we got these Scooby Doos. That's what I'm trying to do."
That's right. They know those come across their store. They're calling you first. Get hold of you.
It's not that I don't love them, but when they get Fraggle Rock and Scooby Doo, I want them to hit me up, So I got to irritate them with my request for Fraggle Rock and Scooby Doo.
Oh, let's see. We've got some. Sean asked this. He said, "Do you consider yourself a completist?" So
no, not really. I love to complete a set, and it feels amazing. It feels so awesome when you complete a set and you have everything that goes to that set. But if I consider myself that, I think I'll strive too much for it. I think I'll work and spend too much for it. So I like a complete set, but I guess I wouldn't be a completist.
Yeah, I've seen you in some sales. You do have some limits. I'll acknowledge that. You're like, I really need that. I'm not going there. You guys can have it.
Because all too often I've gone, I really want something, so I buy it, and then 8 months later, it's there for like $15.
Oh yeah.
Just like, so I've become a more patient collector as I've gotten a little older,
Yeah, I think that happens as you get older. You're like, I remember when that was, that Black Series was going for $60 and now they reissued it and that's on clearance.
Yeah, that's like Revan.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You
The
know,
Revan Chronicles.
Revan was an enormous thing, and I'm like, oh yeah, I want me one of those because I like his tale, Jedi turned Sith or Sith turned
Yeah.
Jedi, and now he's a figure. And I was just really starting to love the Black Series back then, which is a line that I might be a completist on that one. Everything that comes out in Black Series, I want. I just love
Yeah,
those
are cool.
figures.
And it's helped too when they changed the box style and everything with the art on it. Makes it even cooler to display if you're not even open. But I know you're an opener, so
I cut the little pictures out.
oh, do you?
I
Okay.
keep those because I love what it turns into. I don't know what I'm going to do with it,
Yeah.
but I'm going to do something. And the whole Rebels line, I picked up a lot of and got the entire case from Arcudi.
Okay.
Because I want to keep those. I love the Rebels and I love those figures. And it was, I think, the second wave when they started doing the art
Yeah.
that goes together on the side. And I just like that one a lot. So I'm actually keeping those in the box. But yeah, 90% of the things I've opened droid figures, stuff with
Like
droids.
vintage droid stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
I remember once I had the woman with the weird hair. I forget her name. And I was actually online in groups trying to trade the carded one even for a mint, a loose one.
Yeah.
Because there's just not a lot of them around. So I'm trying to throw a bone to everyone who wants to string up someone who opens a vintage figure, but no takers. So I'm like, all right,
Here we go.
so be
Crack
it.
the bubble.
I need it to stand right here, not in a package. So
Oh. I know some of the guys in the group are like, oh, I wish I'd seen this,
it was actually years ago. It was
Oh yeah.
probably 8 years ago, 9 years ago.
Ah.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got some more questions here. Oh, Bill asks, since you are pretty eclectic in your collecting, do you have any Hot Wheels? Do you do any Hot Wheels collecting? No? Oh, it's one thing you don't dabble in, huh?
Nope. Not a single one.
Wow. Not even Star Wars version Hot Wheels?
Nope.
No. Wow.
No.
Man. Okay. All right. Let's see. Oh, Robert McGregor says this. Anything upcoming that's getting you excited? Like you just can't wait until it's up for pre-order or it's gets shipped, or what's waiting? I mean, I know it's probably whack foo, but
No, I mean they were going to make another line, another wave of 3 figures, and Jim actually likes the whack foo ones too. Him and his wife were watching the cartoons on Netflix and liked them, and it's really fun. And I would recommend some of you guys, watch past the first few episodes.
yeah, I'll tell you, I tried the first one and I stopped. I may have to go back to it because I know you guys love it. So
yeah, give it 2 or 3 episodes. Like I was hooked about the second or third episode. My oldest really liked it, so every night he wanted to watch an episode, and I want to hang out with him. So
oh yeah, for sure.
and then I'm like, man, this is really cool. It's got this little dude named Adamime who ends up being, well, I guess I won't get into a lot of it in case some of you guys do check out the actual story, but I don't know. It's a very cool story. But back to getting
Yeah.
there is a new line that's kind of excited me.
Uh-oh.
It's like a new thing, and it's not. Oh, I don't know. I might.
You don't want to tip us off. You don't want us to get it before you.
No, it isn't like that. It's so bad. It's so
Oh.
bad.
Oh no.
So
Send the kids out of the room.
no, not that kind of bad.
Oh,
It's
okay.
just,
Oh, sorry.
they're just awful. It's just that they're so weird that I love them. And here's what it is. It's called Final Faction,
Okay.
and they're actually put out by the dollar store, Dollar Tree.
Okay. Interesting.
So And I'm in the Dollar Tree because we get like decorations and stuff like that from there. And
Yeah.
you know, I walk by them and I see them, and I'm just like, weird Dollar Tree action figures. I walk by them again, and I'm like, oh, it's like some kind of alien. And then I buy like 3 or 4 of them just to check them out, and I'm like, these things are cool.
You start
So
jonesing for more.
so I go and get them all, and it's like $14. And,
All right,
and on the
I'm gonna throw these up here. I think I got it where I can show everybody these final factions. Or yeah, is that them? Jay,
yep,
can you see it? Yeah.
yep,
Oh.
that's them.
So
They
these are
come
at
with
the
like,
dollar store, huh?
yeah, they come with like
Dude, that looks like this lady up here looks like a GI Joe.
yeah, yeah. They have like weapons packs and helmets that go on and off. And I
What?
know when you ask me if there's something that I'm getting excited about, you don't expect to hear something like this. You expect to be like, oh yeah, this new Battlestar Galactica wave of coolness is coming out. It's
Well,
all new.
dude, the guys that know you know that you're out there as far as things you collect. So this is not a big surprise. This guy in the
There's like,
middle, he looks kind of like what's his face? Falcon,
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Wow, this is
And
pretty cool little line.
and do you guys remember Titan AE? I think it was a cartoon from maybe the mid to late '90s. This alien dude kind of looks like those guys. I forget what they were called, the Titan AE
Oh
uh,
yeah, yeah, I see it.
alien
Okay.
invaders.
Where this other guy looks like a transformer, looks like an Optimus Prime or something.
It's like that's a remote control rescue bot. But you see all
Okay.
these holes? He
Yeah.
has like weapons packs that you can add things onto them.
And this is at the dollar store?
Yeah, and there's even like there's an ATV too, like a vehicle.
Wow.
It's $1. It's just sitting there at the dollar store, and it has like armor that can go onto it and stuff like this. But there's a second wave of this coming out, and how I found that out was on the back. You can scan this thing with your phone, and the cartoons from it pop up on YouTube. So
Okay.
there's like a series of cartoons that go with a series of figures that you can watch, and it tells a weird story of it's like 2050 or something, and some meteor smashes into the moon, and all these aliens pour out of the meteor and hollow out the moon and make a base, start attacking the Earth's resources, and these guys have to defend, Earth from the alien threat. Classic story, but
That's what I love about your collection, though, because you not only are the cool pieces, but you're all in the story, the backstory that goes with this stuff.
yeah,
That's
I like
great.
it.
I mean, because of the whack foo. I mean, you're all in the series. That you're getting the figures now. These guys, and that's cool. I mean, because that's why we played with them as a kid. You know,
Yeah,
the story
yeah.
that they brought. So, all right, let's see what else we got over here, man. We got questions. Everybody wants to know about you, brother. Let's see here. Let's see. Oh, Silent Bob says, "What's the oldest line that you collect?"
The oldest line.
Yeah.
I think Silent Bob's asking a loaded question because he
Oh,
knows
he's
that's
baiting, huh?
it is the 12-inch GI Joes is the oldest thing I collect, and
Okay.
I don't collect them so much as I get one when I get an opportunity to buy one at a good price, and I usually get them from Silent Bob because he's got so many amazing 12-inch GI Joe figures. We'll have to get like a video just on those at some point.
I think we're gonna have to have another collector spotlight with him.
Oh,
So
for sure.
he's just got
You guys
such a
just
wealth
scratched the
there.
surface with that cat.
Because you guys live pretty close to each other, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. We
So
live
you
in the
guys,
same town. He's just a few miles away from me.
yeah, you guys may be like Steve and I, because we live in the same town. A couple others guys in the cantina, and Steve will text goes, "Hey man, you want to get together and play? Just come and talk collections and open, stuff that we just got, stuff like that." Sounds like y'all do the same kind of stuff. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
all right, let's see.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to go ahead, bro. I was just looking to see if there's any more questions over there.
Oh yeah. Take a look. But those old GI Joes, they're cool. I mean, the accessories and stuff that come with those, and you can keep them in like a box that's shaped like a Foot Locker. I mean, they're just cool.
Yeah, those are neat pieces, and they're cool pieces of toy history. Because that's where it all started for GI
Yeah.
Joe.
Yeah,
All
and
right, so
they have really, really amazing sets. One is I forget what it's called. It's like a Temple Escape or something. It's this big yellow helicopter scaled to 12-inch figures, you know, and an
good
idol
Lord.
that it swoops down and grabs. I took pictures, series of pictures of my kids having an adventure with it outside. Same with like a 12-inch scale, like Jimmy's Jeep
Yeah.
with a big rocket launcher at the end where it cocks back with a huge spring and shoots a projectile out, which Silent Bob wisely told me not to do because usually at this point when you actually fire it, it shatters the cannon because
Oh, with the age, yeah.
you know it's I don't know exactly when they're from, but they're 60-year-old toys,
Over
65-year-old
there.
toys.
Watch
So
this spring action. Oh, it's destroyed it.
oh great, it's
Well,
destroyed.
here we are getting so excited about Star Wars vehicles that are for 6-inch scale. Back in the day, G.I. Joe had 12-inch scale vehicles.
Yeah,
I
Jeeps,
mean,
helicopters, submarines,
gosh,
everything.
storing that stuff, man, I can only imagine. So,
Yeah, huge bases. Like,
yeah.
and I mean, they were like the Star Trek ones from Mego, where it had, you spun the thing and the transporter was there. But there was a big GI Joe one with a huge tower and a spotlight that worked.
I wouldn't have enough display space for nothing with that.
I
All
don't
right,
either.
let's see, because we do know you like to read hints to comics and everything. You're a Star Wars fan. So Ricardo asked, "What's your favorite Star Wars book series? Legends or so before the Disney buyout and everything got shifted around. Were you into any of the books or anything?
You mean like paperbacks, like actually
Yeah,
reading?
paperbacks or trade paperbacks or so. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't read any of I
Okay.
haven't got into any of that kind of canon or anything like that.
Okay.
Really just the comic book lines that I read, but I like Crimson Empire and stuff like that. I like different looks at the Star Wars universe are always fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I never really read the novels.
Silent Bob says you sound like a completist, even though you say you're not. I added the "say you're not"
It,
part.
it may be denial because,
Uh,
like I said, I'm trying not to be a completist.
let's see. Oh, Robert McGregor's like a 12-inch scale USS Flag. Imagine that.
Oh my god, that would be
Uh,
something. That would
that
be
would.
something.
Oh, Jordan, here's a good question. What's your favorite customized Star Wars item? Do you have any Star Wars customized items?
Yeah, I have just a couple, and my favorite one is a Boba Fett. We got
Okay.
this in a lot of figures that I got once. I got this old rickety wobbly Boba Fett. Um, I know now it sounds like blasphemy to paint any Boba Fett, but back then I was grabbing Boba Fett's all over the place for like 10 or 15 bucks each.
Oh, those are the
Complete.
glory days.
I miss those days.
Yeah.
But me and my son painted it ourselves, and it came out pretty cool. So we painted like a Greedo blue, and we just did a couple of weird things with figures. An old snow trooper that was beat up, we painted black and gave him blue eyes. So that's really all I have in the way of customs.
Yeah. What about because Bill asked, you got any Migos?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I have Spider-Man Mego
Okay.
because I love Spider-Man. He's probably my numero uno superhero. And then I have a lot of Star Trek Migos.
Okay.
And oddly, I have the whole. Uh, oh my God, what's it called? Follow the Yellow Brick Road. Why is it?
Wizard of Oz?
I have the whole Wizard of Oz collection, including
Oh.
like the Oz's castle with the
Oh,
curtain and the
wow.
Yellow Brick Road thing. And I got that from a guy named Scott, who does auctions on another page, but he also lives here in Massachusetts.
Okay.
I
Saves a
scored
little bit
that.
on shipping then. So,
Yeah. In
but
fact, sometimes I get things from Scott, and we just meet up at like they do a small con in Boxborough, Massachusetts, like 3 times a year,
oh,
and then a
wow.
couple of other times they do just like toy shows there. So he's always there. I like to meet up with him there sometimes. I want a General Lee with the 2 Duke boys in it
Oh,
off of like a raffle page once from him.
Is that the 3 3/4 size or the?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So, the question that I think a lot of it's rattling in our brain. Okay, you've got all these different lines you've collected and all these things. How in the world, or do you display any of this stuff? I mean, we know you display some, but how can you display all this?
I've got
storage.
got a very sad looking toy room up on the 3rd floor of my home that is just embarrassing to show. I can't show it because I just can't seem to get it organized. And,
Oh, the curse.
there's boxes everywhere. And I'm like, let me try just putting this stuff above my garage and bringing it in as I set it up. So now I have a giant pile in my garage, but as I was moving things into my garage, I was replacing those boxes with new stuff in my toy room. So all I did was make another room full of boxed up toys.
It's never ending.
So I kind of rotate them through. I have a big case for, like the first 100 GI Joes, and a big case for the whole Star Wars line, including the 12-inch.
Nice.
They're always displayed.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's, a little Star Blazers here, a couple of Tacky Warriors. I have every Visionary made, including the big dagger. And they're just in boxes, and that embarrasses me. Because Visionaries is a wicked cool line too. I don't know if any of you guys know much about those, but the Visionaries were like this new holographic awesomeness, and they all had staffs with holographs on it of their like spirit animal that gave them power. And
honestly,
I heard about those guys because there was like an 8-book comic book series that was really fun.
Yeah, so it's tied back to the comic books again for you. That's cool.
Same with Air Raiders. There were like 6 Air Raider comics, and I'm like, these things are great. And then the next thing you know, there's this huge line of toys. So I have a big box of Air Raiders out in my garage too.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about the Visionaries until, again, one of the nights in the cantina. You're like, hey, this is something different. Let's see if I was like, what is this?
Corey bought that.
Yeah, those are so cool. Yeah. And every now and then you'll bust out another one every now and then. And I think Corey's had a couple that he's done as well too. He's another guy who runs across all kinds of stuff. So let's see. I thought I saw another good question over here. Let's see. Yeah, Robert says, talk to Dan if you need a bigger house. Yeah. All right. So
that's the thing. My house is big.
Robert's got a great question. And he of course, you guys are you and Silent Bob are buddies in the Geek Candy group, or I guess you could say conglomerate, whatever you guys want to call you guys. Tell us about a little bit how much 3D printing you guys are doing, or how you got started with that. Of course, Bob spent a lot of time talking about that through his spotlight, but what's going on right now with Geek Candy?
Silent Bob is crushing it with Geek Candy right now. I mean, the whole thing got started, I think, when I won, I don't know if you remember, an auction for like a 3-foot Boba Fett that was 3D printed.
Yeah.
Going on in the Papa Chunk page.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. I ended up winning that. And I'm like, man, 3D printed stuff is awesome. And I'm like, I got to get a 3D printer and start 3D printing things, because look what the awesome things you can make.
Yeah.
Now, the difference between me and Silent Bob is I would have talked about getting a 3D printer for like 10 years and never got a 3D printer. And like, 4 days later, Silent Bob's got 2 of them set up in his house, and he's crushing out like I think the first thing he made was like a Skeletor or a Baby Yoda.
Wow.
I don't really remember. And then this cat starts like scaling up the Battlestar Galactica ships. And this is where things just got crazy. He's like measuring them and putting them into programs and making these files. And this is the difference between 3D printing Silent Bob and 3D printing Jay. I can plug that file in and print stuff and make awesome things. And I can take cool files from, places on the internet and things like that, or have Rob make cool files for me and make amazing things. But this dude is making them, and when he unleashed them on this Battlestar Galactica page, it just went insane. And he was like, Jay, if you really like 3D printing, I'll help you learn how to do it. because I'm a really smart bows engineer and you're, you know, not.
Oh, shit.
No, he didn't say that, man. He was wicked cool about it. But he gave me these programs and I just started helping him make stuff. So what I do is just my limited 3D printing and things that I do that I just picked up. It's like awesomeness that seeped off of Silent Bob onto me. And I just learned how to make some cool things and stuff like that. And I like selling that in our group. But I also make these cool parts for Silent Bob that he uses because he can't make them fast enough. People are just buying them up. I mean, Geek Candy was around for a long time. It was a page he had for a long time. But when he started selling these, it blew up. Man. That dude's in magazines and he's all over retro blasting and for good cause because these things are. I mean, he's making awesome stuff that should have been made by toy companies years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's actually got the Stellar Probe now.
Wow.
You know what that is? He just finished designing that and now I think is actually selling that. He just opened up his Etsy page and I looked at it. Just
saw that. Yeah.
Did you? Yeah.
Yeah,
Did you go see it?
Yeah,
it was like 3 of these are in a basket. I don't even know what. I'm not even sure what that means. I think it's like 3 people are waiting to have enough money to buy it or something. But there was a while there. He was like over 2 months backed up, because it takes 100 and something hours of print time to make some of these things, and he was crushing out like probably, let me see, 6, 7, I think like 11 or 12 printers he would have going at his house.
Yeah, and that's not including the ones you got running at yours doing the same thing. Yeah.
I got 5 over here. And,
wow, so you guys had like 16 printers rocking at the same time?
Yeah, there were times where all of mine were printing stuff to help make those. There was a long time, almost a year. One of my printers just made engines.
Wow.
For one of his ships. That's all it did. I would make it, reset it, make it, reset it, make it, reset it, make it, reset it. Every day I'd come home from work, I'd start a new one. And then start a new one. The spool would run out, I change it and make another one. All that thing did was make engines. He killed it, man. He killed it. He came up with this great thing and just crushed it.
Well, there's a love fest happening over on the Facebook side, singing your praises, man. Silent Bob's over there saying Jay's very modest. Your bride is commenting very modest. And then Sean's over, I love the pieces I have from you, Jay. And Dan's over here, wow. So I know it's been fun to see the neat pieces you guys have brought to the Cantina and with our sales. I mean, I know I've got 3 stormtroopers, a snow trooper, I've got a Boba Fett. I mean, I've got all kinds of stuff myself that have come off y'all's printers. So I think all those have come off yours. So
yep. They're just crazy fun to make. They're so fun to make, And
that's a neat part of collecting. And I really think you guys have kind of got in on the front end of it. But I think 10 years down the road, more and more people will have those and say, hey, I want this figure. Okay, there's a file. I'm going to make that figure. Maybe not, but I really think at least that's where I want it to go personally. So I could, create my own at my house. So.
Yeah, well, that's originally what I was thinking we would do. All the figures that I wanted, but no one ever made. I was thinking maybe I can somehow make them out of clay or something, scan them, and then just print them up, make all the figures I want. I made an army of little brown stormtroopers just because I had some brown PLA around that I wasn't using for anything else. I couldn't think of anything to use it for. So I made like an army of little brown stormtroopers that look exactly like the stormtrooper figures. They're just
that's just crazy. So like army man size stormtroopers.
No, they're 3 3/4. They're the exact size of an actual stormtrooper. And I just made them till I ran out of that PLA. My kids play with them all the time. They have little wars set up on the stairs, and some of them, their legs are falling off, and but they just put them back together and play with them more.
I may have to put in an order. All right, let's get this all together here. I need some stuff from my indoor scenes over here. So
yeah. I'll send you.
Goodness. All right, let's see what else we got here. Oh, RJ says, I got to brag on Jay a little bit. A few years ago, my wife wanted to get me some Star Wars stuff for Christmas, but she didn't know what to buy, where to buy it. I told her to message Jay to see if he could help. He has helped her find some of the best gifts ever. Even last Father's Day, he helped her find me a graded Obi-Wan. Dude, you're the secret shopper guy. You're the guy that you're the hookup. Wow.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, she was motivated. That was a fun time because I was like, wow, he's never gonna think it's this awesome.
wow,
Yeah.
that is so cool. Oh, let's see. Sean says, Snow Trooper is my jam. Can I request one? Yeah, get with Jay, send him a message. And I know he
I think I have like 5 or 6 6-inch scales ones just made over in the corner in a box.
yeah, they're cool. I've got mine sitting up there with my vintage ad
Yeah,
hats.
I cut out like a cloth skirt for him too that fits pretty good. Yours has a skirt on it, right?
Yeah, mine's got a skirt on it. Yeah. I think you had painted it too. So you painted the
Yep.
accent so it pops, that black pops off that white. So let's see. Jaime's like, he has a great collection from you. And Robert said, Mud Troopers, talking about those troopers you had made. So
Jaime, I know that Jaime is a fellow Battlestar Galactica lover, and I mean, I had a bunch of pieces of a Cylon Raider, like 3 3/4 inch Cylon Raider kicking around that just were part of us trying to figure it out, me trying to figure it out really on my printers. Rob had them going at the time and was selling them and making them. And I was trying to find a way to like help out or make one for me. And they were just extra pieces. And I put them together and made this because, I tried this clear PLA for the canopy and it didn't really, I wasn't sure it came out right. And I was like, why don't I just glued it all together.
yeah.
And it looked awesome. So I sent it to Jaime. Yeah.
Man, you guys have come with some cool stuff. Oh, even Ricardo said you did a great job on those 3D printed Y-wing struts. I saw those, man. Those were good.
Yeah. I couldn't believe how good those came out. I was
Yeah.
very surprised by that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because I wasn't sure. I was like, I don't know, but they look perfect.
And and I realize that opens up another topic of discussion. You've got those guys, and I understand where they're coming from about not wanting any 3D printed stuff or reproduction stuff, and I understand what that can do to the market. But when you have the ability to make an incomplete piece in your collection whole for you to display, you to enjoy, why not? You know what I'm saying? And I understand people's argument, all that about that stuff, but I mean, if it's yours, you're going to be the one looking at. You're the one enjoying it. It's your, whatever. So I won't get
Here's
into
the
that because
thing
I
is,
realize
like,
we have issues. with that.
maybe Ricardo finds the real thing
Yeah.
somewhere. Maybe he gets lucky and finds those struts. But how long is it going to take for you to do that?
Yeah.
And you have a Y-wing sitting around your house
Mhm.
in pieces and shambles when it can look really good. So
Yeah.
why not have it look good while you're looking around, or maybe you don't even want to look around. Maybe you're not that person that cares about
Yeah.
that. And
Yeah.
I'm really not. There's some
That's
stuff.
not me neither.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, and this is just, I guess, a peek behind the collecting curtain at my house. If I've got some reproduction weapons, I do. And okay, everybody's gonna come to my house and burn my house down now. But what I do is I take those reproduction weapons and I put, like, with a silver Sharpie, I'll put something on it. So I know it's a different one, but it's for display, for Pete's sake. So I can have, have a rebel soldier up there in the Ewok village shooting at a stormtrooper. All right. Come on. So, I'm probably get kicked off the internet now because the powers that be, but oh well.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah, I think sometimes people put a little too much into toys. They are just toys.
I'm glad you said that, because obviously you've got boys at your house, and they're into collecting too with dad. Do you ever have those nights or those times where it's like, hey, got home from work, or maybe it's on the weekend, it's like, boys, let's just sit down and play with these toys?
Yep.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
And that's what they're meant
we were
for.
doing that before, just before I did this.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Playing with Legos.
Yeah. Yeah, I have boys as well, and they're getting older, but I mean, each one of them, some of the best memories I have with them is sitting in the floor in the hallway or sitting at the table playing with Legos, and just being a kid with my kids. So
I probably have 70 videos on my phone of Ellis, because we would watch toy things on YouTube or stuff, and when Ellis was young. And I mean, he's only 9 now, but when he was like 4, 5, 6, 7, he wanted to do that. So
Okay.
I would give him like Black Series figures, and he would be like, "Hey guys, today we're gonna open," and would show whatever it is and talk about it and open it. And like he would make his own little videos and then
Oh,
talk
that's
about
cool.
it and stuff like that. I've got a ton of them on my phone. They're adorable.
Yeah, my 10-year-old was the same because that they watch that stuff all the time on YouTube.
Yep.
Those guys reviewing toys, kids their age, and like we can do that, and they can. They're just as good as those kids.
It really can,
Yeah,
you watch him do it, and
yeah.
he would get into having some fun. He would pull it out of the box and then take the box and just rifle it. I mean, some of them were pretty funny.
Oh, that's cool.
He's a funny
Yeah,
little guy.
yeah. At our house, I mean, not to. I mean, this is all about you, but it was a great opportunity. At our house, we do it different times, but every Christmas night, so they'll get the spoils of Christmas, and it's usually a Star Wars Christmas at our house. This year was a little
Sure.
different, but always Christmas night, the boys know, if they want to, Dad's going to be playing, and we're going to have this all-out Star Wars war. That's going to be the bounty hunters against the Empire. I mean, all this stuff. We've created a storyline and everything. So much fun.
Yep.
So, oh man! All right, let's see what else. Enough about me. Let's see here. Yeah, Sean says if you're not selling repro, it doesn't matter. That's right, brother. Exactly.
Yeah. Yep.
That's what it's all about: playing with toys and sharing with the son. He's growing up too
That's the
fast.
simplest way to put it.
Yeah.
If you're not trying to pass it off as vintage.
Yeah. Let's see. Robert says kids unboxing toys. 12 million subscribers. Yeah, that's it, man. Well, with Jay, man, we've had a blast just kind of getting a peek into your collector's mind, your collector's heart. A lot of people already knew, kind of some of your stuff because you're an important part of the cantina. I'm gonna ask anybody in the group if you want to submit another question. This is kind of the last call for that. You know, I know you probably have run into it as well because you've commented on it, but have you been able to do any kind of toy hunting, up there in Massachusetts?
Yeah, I mean, it's better here in the summer because there's a couple of flea markets, and there's people that classically come there with vintage toys, and you can find some good vintage stuff in the winter and the colder months here. There's nowhere to go to find anything like that, antique shops and stuff like that. But there's decent, I mean, Targets and Walmarts all over the place, and Dollar Tree. So I mean, I hit them when I was working in Nashua. I would drive by like 3 or 4 on my commute, and I could go different ways and hit a couple of different ones. But there was just nothing there. So I can do some hunting, but I don't have a lot of luck.
Gotcha.
Because it's just, there's not a lot out there right now in this New England area where I'm at.
Yeah, and that's the same in Georgia. There's nothing.
Yeah.
Unless you want all the crazy, and I don't nothing against those that are collecting them, but whatever this new Masters of the Universe line is, I guess it's based off. I mean, there's like 3 different Masters of the Universe lines out right now.
Yeah.
So, and the one is the weirdest looking that we have tons of around here. So
yeah, I don't even know what those. I think that's a Netflix cartoon, I think, but
yeah, I don't know. I know there was
the
one on
oddest.
Netflix, which is cool, and then there's this other one that's more cartoonish, like even more animated looking than the other. I don't know. So
It's funny you say that though, because the new for 20 and the new for 21 was really the only new things that popped up around here. So I guess out of lack of options, I was like, yeah, I'll buy a couple. I'll get He-Man and Skeletor. So
yeah.
I have like almost all of them now because it just went on, and I ended up getting.
You're talking to these guys that look the retro ones.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I mean these were cool. I mean, I just got the He-Man and Skeletor as well. It's a cool
No,
line.
I've got nearly all of them now. I even found the glow in the dark guy, Scare Glow.
Oh, but you're not a completist at all. Nope.
Nope. Not
Nope.
even close.
Not even close.
Not even close.
There's so many more. Yeah, Robert said the same. All right, let's
You know
see.
what I did find though? I did feel lucky because I found the GI Joe classified one bat and one of the Alley Vipers. I found at Pheasant Lane Mall at the Target at Pheasant Lane Mall. I couldn't even believe it was there. The guy leaving had the rest of them, all of the rest of the line that was there in a basket.
Oh,
I guess I was more grateful that he couldn't afford those two on top of all the rest, that I didn't even get salty about it. I would have loved to have been able to get some to help some guys out in the group.
yeah.
Jim, I would have
Yeah.
loved to have gotten a couple of extra to send him in return for all
Oh my goodness. All the good stuff we've
Candyman's
got
done
from
for
Jim.
me, you know.
Yeah, and I know he hates it because right now he's not able to get hardly anything from his distributing stuff. So, but man, he's taking care of so much of it. So many of us in the group at great prices on the new stuff. So we got two questions. We got two questions left, and both of them have to do with toys that are close by. So the first one is from Robert's, like, what's the closest toy to you right now? And tell us about it. Is there anything near you? You may be in a different part of the house, but sounds like they're everywhere at your house.
I just recently got this.
Oh, okay.
So
Nice.
this is the closest thing to me right now. And I definitely want to get Maximilian, but he's not out there a lot because I'm not a completist, and those are the only two figures in this entire line. But I
No.
love this thing. Me and my youngest are gonna open this guy up tomorrow.
Cool. So do you guys like have an opening party like every day at your house with the kiddos?
Yeah. I've kind of got a backlog of it. I think we're gonna open whatever's in this box.
It's like you come home one day, son, we've got to rock out 6 packages today. We've got to get through these 6 toys. I know you're hungry for a snack, but we've got to open some toys.
Yeah, we're gonna open this one too. I just got this.
Oh man, that's cool.
Yeah,
Wow.
I'm pretty psyched about that. And I got 3 Black Series in a box right here that I just got from you, Lucas.
Okay, yeah, those are sweet figures from the New Hopes line. So, oh wow. All right, so let's see. We got another question here on that same line. I think I saw it. We are asked earlier about Sarah's over there. Oh, it's bad. It's bad. We asked earlier about your Grail pieces, and so Dan wants to know, if you don't mind, could you show us one of the Grail pieces that you actually have that you went after and you finally got?
Sure. Hold on.
Right. He's headed off to the Bat Cave right now. So,
well, it's right over here.
oh, he doesn't have to go far. Good. Nearby. So, man, this has been fun, just kind of getting a glimpse into the mind of Jay the collector. I wonder
I had it for a long time.
Oh,
but it was hard for me to get. And it's this guy right here.
oh, is that a hollow?
Dead Mint Hollow Cheek Tusken Raider.
Wow. Now, did you?
I mean, mint tea, not a flaw on him.
He looks great. He looks like he just came off the card.
Yep.
Oh man.
Keep him in one of these things right next to my blue snag.
I thought you were going to say right next to my bed. It's right next to my bed. Roll over at night, and there he is.
Yep, but I love that guy. And he was a hard one to find. He was a hard one for me to find.
Dude, in that condition too. That's amazing.
Yeah, because I wanted him. I wanted him pretty perfect. I had one graded that wasn't as good as that.
Sarah said, but she still loves you over there, just so you know. If you
know.
Affirmation.
That's how I got her. That's how I got.
Dude, we've got a great insight into y'all's relationship tonight. This is so cool. She's bought that X-Wing for you and led you down this path, and here we are. So
she basically opened the gates, and then it flooded, and it was a small trickle, it's like a dam with a crack in it, and now it's blown open, and the water can't go back. You can't make a pile of water.
Well, hey man, it's that fateful day at the flea market when she bought that has been a blessing to us in the cantina. To have you a part of this, and to be able to help us out in so many great sales and bargains, but more importantly, just to kind of help lead the helm as we've built a great community here and continue to grow. So, well, man, I appreciate you taking time just to hang out with us tonight.
Yeah, I appreciate you, Lucas. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure. All those that joined us on Facebook, thanks for your questions. Thanks for hanging out with us. And we're going to do some editing on this, throw this up on the old YouTube so you can look at it for it there. We've got some things we'll add to it. Hopefully it'll be kind of a cool setup. And we'll be back next week, Thursday Night Live. We'll be talking the Book of Boba Fett, episode 6 and 7. No spoilers yet. Next week, we'll just lay it all out there because, man, we've got a lot to talk about just in episode 6. Can't wait to hear
all over with by the time we get.
I know, but yeah, it will be. But I have a feeling it's going to leave us with a lot of things to cliffhangers to.
Yeah, I mean, my only question is he going to ride the Rancor before that, or is it going to be the beginning of next season?
Nope, he's not riding the Rancor, Jay. He's not riding it. Oh,
I hate the Cantina being split like this, but.
I'm gonna get some T-shirts printed up.
Like a Ghostbuster thing.
Yes, the Rancor with him on and just a line through it. We'll see. We will see. Some people say, "Well, that's going to be the new Mythosaur." No, it's not. It's a whole conspiracy to take him out. The Hutts are in on it with the Pikes. They trained it to kill Boba Fett. So mark my words. So all right. Well, I want to kill the stream here, and Jay and I will talk a little bit after that. But guys, y'all have a great evening, and we will see you around the Cantina. Take care. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.